You should tell him that I always get confused and baited by players because they always say hello or something, and then I think they can speak English.
因为你们经常就他说个 hello，然后你就回 hello 啊什么的，他们总会觉得哎你好英语很好。
只会那几句。
That's the only sentence I know.
I wanted to ask you a question. I was watching on the LNG YouTube channel. There's a video where you and another player are drawing, and a psychologist is looking at the drawings, and then they kind of say, what does the drawing say about the player? And they saw you did a drawing of a house and a tree, and they said it meant you were stable and you're kind of like a normal guy. My mum, when she saw my drawings when I was a kid, said that it meant I was an idiot and I would never achieve anything. Do you think that my mum could be a psychologist?
就是你还记得你们之前就 LNG 他们有那种心理的测试，就是让你画什么树、房子、人，然后当时你好像画出来的时候就是那种非常就是棒的，非常甜蜜，就是那种很怎么说就是很普通那种孩子，就是大家心理状态很平常。然后但是呢，就是他以前的时候也做过相似的一个测验，然后呢，但是当时的诊断结果出来的时候是就是像疯子一样。然后，所以他妈妈就是这样来给他一个评价。所以说，你对此有什么样的看法？觉得谁才是就是可能精神不太好？
我觉得没有什么精神不太好，就是大家每个人都不一样，都有不同的性格。我觉得都是很好的人。
So I don't think like someone called like the psychologist because I feels like every single person in this world they have the different personalities, and also I feel this is very good parts of the world. So because of this differences, it makes the world better. So yeah, I kind of like all people are good person.
Can you say his answer was so beautiful, I might cry?
你的回答太美好，让他都想哭了。
Thank you.
Can you say, from what I've been able to find online, and obviously I don't speak Chinese that well, it feels like people talk about how your smile is very special, but they don't see it very often. Why is that? Why do we never see Gala smile that often?
很多人之前他看很多中文社交媒体上都会说，Gala的笑非常的就是好，非常的好看，就让人给人印象很深。但是好像平时不经常看到你笑，是为什么呢？
可能大家见到我的时候，可能更多的在比赛中嘛，但是比赛中可能相对来说会更集中的去想好比赛里每一波的游戏里的进度吧。就比如这波打完，可能会直接去想下一波，或者说一直保持专注的集中，可能会反应才更快吧。然后就平时生活里还是很爱笑的。
It's mainly because maybe the audience always see me on the stage because when I play in games, I like to really concentrate on my own stuff. I'm like keep thinking in my mind like what's happening now and what's going to be the next step. So I would like to just put 100% of effort into focusing on this part. But actually, I must say maybe in the daily life, I really smile a lot.
Can you say, because since we're having such good fun, like the best of friends, could he smile for us right now?
那现在已经成为好朋友了，能不能对他笑一笑？
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you an interesting question. Maybe it'll be embarrassing to talk about, but I noticed with Scout's hair recently, he looks like he's been putting his hand on like an electric fence. It all seems very frizzy. What do you think is going on with that?
想问一下关于 Scout 的一个发型的问题，可能会让你感到一点点的尴尬，就是他的发型给人感觉很像，就是被那个电击了，噗的一下给炸开了。然后所以说，你觉得他的头发到底经历了什么？
他头发好像现在确实就是好像我在网上看到过一个图片，好像就说他很像被什么东西电了，或者说很像一个东西，好像当时我也有觉得很好笑吧。然后感觉刚开始他夏季赛刚做这个头发的时候，我感觉还没有这么炸，好像现在好像就是越来越炸了。
So also I've seen some memes pictures in the social media like the Scout's hair is something like the electrocuted like this kind of stuff.
Has he seen the one where it says that Scout looks like the Heimerdinger blast zone?
你有看到那个就是说他像那个就是大发明家的那种，是那种吗？
好像是。
Yeah, maybe we have seen the same meme picture. And also, to be honest, from the very beginning in the summer, I feel like Scout's hair is not that exaggerate. But for now, it's like becoming more and more exaggerated.
Is it distracting him from performing?
那他头那么大一下炸起来，会不会影响你的？影响你在赛场？
不会吧？就他离得比较远。
It's okay because we keep like quite far away from each other on stage, so it's okay.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I wanted to ask him about the funniest clip of him that I've ever seen. Is the clip where he's shouting about Akali, be careful for Akali, but Akali's not in the video, he's not in the game.
动了，兄弟们，动龙了！哎，不好，我没打多少，多少敌，兄弟们！我猜阿卡丽可能来了，阿卡丽可能来了，阿卡丽密死，阿卡丽密死！不要吗？不要吗？阿卡丽密死了，阿卡丽来了，要吗？给，没有阿卡丽，没有阿卡丽，高朗你冷静一点，那你说一声啊，兄弟。我们一直在说。是他们啊，没有，我是芥末，高朗。就艾特他，好了。
And I wanted to ask him, who hurt him, and why is he so afraid of Akali? Like, where did that PTSD come from?
然后有一个你特别有意思的梗，他觉得非常最喜欢的就是那个阿卡丽来了，阿卡丽来了，阿卡丽来了，然后结果阿卡丽根本不在，然后所以说想问一下，为什么会有这个阿卡丽的 PTSD？ 到底这一切的源头是什么？
可能那场比赛因为是季后赛嘛，可能对方上一把使用了阿卡丽嘛，然后。 好像当时我很担心对面的上单过来打那个小龙团，所以我一直提醒队友阿凯丽要来了。然后后面发现好像没有阿凯丽这个英雄，可能记忆出现了混乱。
So I thought it's because that was a best of 3. So maybe the opponents they picked Akali for the last game. And I keep like worrying about the opponents, like the top Akali, to teleport to their dragon pits, and I was so worried about it. So I keep talking about Akali is coming, and after that I realized, oh, there's no Akali. So maybe I just got a very messy memory there on stage.
Yeah. You can tell him he doesn't have to feel as bad, because sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, sweating and screaming about some of the most embarrassing things I've done. The only difference is he did it in a game.
就是但也觉得他觉得也没什么，因为有的时候他可能半夜之间突然醒来，然后想到自己的那些尴尬的事情，然后就尖叫，然后但是就是只是唯一不同的是，你的这个是在直接一个游戏里、一个比赛中就放出来了。
能感觉到他生活里肯定也是一个很有意思的人。
I believe from your words, you're definitely a very funny person, very interesting person in your daily life.
That's really nice of him to say. I appreciate that.
他很感谢你有这样的评价。
I wanted to ask you, and I have a photo here, 1 second, but there's a way that you take selfies all the time, and you sort of take them like that, and I wanted to show you an example of it. But I wanted to ask why you do it like that.
你平时好像自拍的时候总是一种，就是怎么说，
like that.
的一个视角，
Why does he take it from this angle? Because that looks like the way that I take photos when I've been to the bathroom or something like that.
就是给人的感觉好像是，就是比如说像进了浴室什么的之类的那种，一下拍了一张照，为什么总是这样的一个角度呢？
不知道，有的时候，就是因为可能大家想那天好像是想，看我拍照片，但是其实我平时不拍照片，然后想着，不想正常拍一张，就想随便找一个角度拍一张。
So it's maybe because normally I don't make the selfie, but sometimes the fans or the other people they want me to see my selfie. So I just random like find an angle and whatever and just take a Photoshop.
Can you tell him it's quite scary?
有点吓人。
Anyway, it's been lovely to speak with you today, and we're going to let you go now. We wish you a lot of luck for the rest of the tournament. And I wanted to just let you know, and he doesn't have time to respond to this, so he has to just accept it. My Kaiser is actually better than yours. My Kaiser is better than his.
Wow. 就是他希望你们接下来的比赛都能够好好加油，希望你们都能好运。但是你不需要有什么样的回应，但是他觉得他的卡莎比你的卡莎厉害。
有空的话可以 solo 一下。
If we got time, maybe we can have a solo with a Kaisa.
I would beat him so quickly. It doesn't matter.
他会很快的击败你的。
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thanks to Wendy as always. The goat. Different pose this time.